Okay, if you're a beginner in makeup or you're somebody who thinks that you need to dish out the dough to find high quality, high performing makeup products, you are wrong. You're wrong. Because today I'm going to be giving you guys a very easy step-by-step makeup tutorial using very affordable makeup products. So keep on watching. Okay guys, so again, the whole point of this video today is to show you guys a very easy to do everyday makeup routine using very affordable makeup products. Now sometimes people make it seem like you have to use really expensive products to get good results, and that's just absolutely not true. Some of my absolute best performing and favorite products are very affordable drugstore products or indie brand products. So at the end of the day, what matters most is the product itself, not necessarily the price point. Sometimes you get what you pay for. Take that as you will, and sometimes you're just paying for a name or notoriety. So definitely something to keep in mind when you're shopping around for new makeup products. So again, today I'm going to be showing you very affordable, very easily foundable. Yeah, easily foundable. You can find these products at pretty much anywhere. It's the whole point. Products. So how many times can I say products in like 30 seconds? But anyway, so I'm going to go through a very easy makeup routine with you guys. So let's get started. Okay, my face is kind of shiny because it's already moisturized, and ignore all this that's going on. We've been going through it, okay? But to get this face started off, I'm going to be using my Wet n Wild Photo Focus Matte Primer. This retails for $4.99 at most stores, such as Ulta. So I'm just going to rub this into my skin and get my skin primed. Now, while this is setting in place and kind of absorbing into my skin, then I'm going to be doing my brows. Look how sensitive my skin is. Like, just barely touching my face like that turns it so red. It's just, I don't know, I have very sensitive skin, like, turns red. Like, what can you do? I keep looking at myself in this viewfinder and like realizing how disgusting my face is, so we need to like stop talking and get this makeup going on. But yeah, so for brows I'm going to be using my Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz. Now out of all the products I'll show you today, this is the most expensive one. I just don't really have any really cheap brow products, and usually when I found them, that's one of the times where it's kind of like you get what you pay for. So they're not great. But this is $23, which I don't think is like one of those break the bank kind of products. It's definitely not super cheap, like $3 or $4 or $5, but it's also not super expensive, like $30 to $40. And I've had this brow pencil for so many months, so it definitely lasts a long time. So you definitely get a lot of use out of this, so yeah. So for brows, I'm just gonna take my spoolie and brush them up. I don't do a ton of my brows now, just because they're kind of shaped nicely, but I just fill them in a little bit. Anywhere there's some sparse areas, kind of brush it through, and then just kind of go along the lower line of your brows just to make sure they're kind of solid, and then take it up, and I take mine up and around, and I kind of drag it down just to kind of give more of an extended tail. Yeah, that's about right. Then just kind of brush your brows down and kind of do the same thing. I don't go too far above my brow hair, but I don't go way above them like I used to, because they were very like James Charles-y. And we don't like that. So this kind of gives it like a solid shape, but making them look still kind of natural, you know? So once you kind of have the shape just like that, which takes very minimal effort, just kind of take your product and go through your brow just to blend everything together. And then when I get to the front, I'll just kind of flick it upwards. Then I'll take my spoolie one last time and just brush through everything to make sure it's all blended. And that's a pretty beautiful brow. Very easy, very simple, very fast. Alrighty, once we have our brows on, we are going to take our NYX Cosmetics Control Freak, that's upside down, brow gel. This is a clear brow gel that you can get for $6. And I have very unruly brows, so this just holds everything into place and kind of lays some of my kind of crazy brow hairs flat, and it makes them very nice and very precise. Now if you're someone who has like super beautiful brows that already look like mine, just naturally, just take a brow gel or like a tinted brow gel and brush it through there, make them all perfect, and then you can pretty much probably skip just actually doing your brows in the first place, which saves you even more time. Alrighty, next up is foundation. We're going to take our Milani Conceal and Perfect 2-in-1 foundation. I'm just going to put some of this on the back of my hand. 2 pumps should probably be good enough with my J Sky Beauty Sponge. This foundation retails for $9.99, and there's a significant amount of shades. It's one of my favorite foundations. It's a medium coverage foundation, and it has a very nice skin-like finish. I just think it's very beautiful, and it's very buildable. So I always just apply the majority of my product kind of where I need it the most, which is around my cheeks right here, because that's kind of where my face breaks out the most, and obviously right around here. And then I start blending it together before I add any more. So sometimes less is more when it comes to products, so don't go like overboard with your foundation. Now, I also only take mine up to right about the hollows of my eye, just because I don't want a lot of extra product. because when I apply my concealer and my powder, I just don't want too much there because then obviously it can start getting a little cakey and dry and we don't want that. I'm kind of dry under eyes, so it's something I try to pay attention to. Isn't foundation amazing? Like already it looks significantly better. So we're gonna let this dry down for just a second and wipe off the excess product off the back of our hand. Okay, speaking of pores, let's cover some of them up with a little bit of our e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer. Now this is a wonderfully hydrating concealer, which I need. Now it comes with this huge doe foot applicator, so you don't need that much. So usually I'll wipe it off and I'll go down my nose a little bit. I always cover my face up, sorry. Go down my nose a little bit, press some right around here. I'll do a little bit down the side of my nose and kind of like that, kind of like that. Something you might want to, I don't want to do on my chin. I usually do on my chin, but I'm not going to today. Now, something you might want to stay away from when you're doing your concealer is to do those giant triangles and like take it all the way up. Like in my personal opinion, it's kind of not a good thing to do. It doesn't give you really a lot of real room to blend the product out, and it just is going to cause issues and kind of muddy your other products you put on later. Also, you're putting a lot of extra product on your face, so when you're stacking it all up, plus we're gonna have our powders and our sprays and all that and everything else, it tends to start making your foundation look cakey. That's when people complain a lot about cakiness or a lot of extra lines. So a little goes a long way. So I just strategically place my concealer now because I used to be one of those people that did the big triangles before I learned, that that's not a good idea. But I always start with my nose, I guess usually, and just blend that up and out. Blend everything. I blend everything pretty much in circular motions and like a circle shape. And then when I do my eyes, I just go along the side of my nose first, and then I will bring everything up and out. And I like to take my concealer upwards at an angle because it kind of gives it more of a lifted shape. It just makes me look a little bit younger because we're feeling a little old these days. Alrighty, before I start applying my powder to set my face, I'm going to give it a nice spray with my NYX Dewy Finish Setting Spray. This retails for $8.50. Just give it a nice little spray. Take your sponge again and just kind of press that setting spray into place. This is just going to help prolong your foundation and help prevent any cakiness and just kind of help mesh the powders together here in about 13 seconds, if that. So next I'm going to take my Maybelline Fit Me Setting Powder. Now this powder is a lot of people's holy grail powder. It's really, really nice. I just tap some into the lid. This retails for only $8 and I've had this for a very long time and it does a very, very good job. So I'm just going to take my sponge, dip into it, and just press this anywhere that I put any of my concealer, and just really press in under your eye to make sure you're kind of stamping out any of the lines that you may have created, any of the little creasing moments that we do not want. Alrighty, so let's give this face a little bit of dimension. I'm going to be bronzing my face with my Essence Sun Club Matte Bronzer. It smells like coconuts and love. So good. This only retails for $4.99, which is extremely affordable. Now this is a very light powder, so you can really kind of like go in with it. I do that and I tap it off. And I just kind of stamp this on and go all around the perimeter of your face. I go to about right here when I'm applying my powder products. For my blush and my contour, it's just the best placement for me. And I take it down to my beard a little bit. Then I go around the perimeter of my face. This just takes just a couple seconds. Now this product is nice because you can build it up to your desired level of color, but I don't build it up too much. I prefer to contour my face with bronzer, which is technically not correct, but it's just what I like to do because anytime I've used a typical contouring powder, it just looks muddy and dirty and just looks gross on me and I just don't like it. I like this kind of warm glow that I get when I use this bronzer specifically. It's just like how I like to do it. So yeah, I'm gonna do it that way. You see how just that little bit of bronzer already just gives your face kind of some depth and shape and just contrast and beauty? Oh, love it. Now we're gonna take some blush, which I know may be surprising to some of you because I never ever use it. I'm starting to lately and I'm loving it. So I'm using the Essence Satin Touch Blush. This is in the shade Satin Coral. Now this blush is only $2.99, which is absolutely crazy that it's that cheap, but it's good and it's pigmented. I have a darker red version of it and it's very, very pigmented. So for this, I just look straight into my mirror and I tap it on the apples of my cheeks and kind of take it up a little bit. Now, some people make the mistake of smiling and doing it, but the bad thing is when you smile and you put it there and you stop smiling, it drops. So like your cheekbone, are you like right here? And then it drops because then it's like down there. So don't smile when you put your blush on. Just kind of know where your apples are. And once that's kind of where I want it, I'll take my sponge again and I just stamp over it to kind of blend them together. This blush is a little bit darker than I'm used to using when I do use blush, so I'll have definitely a little bit more of a warm look today, which is fine with me. You just kind of blend them together. And if you want to tone it down a little bit more, you can just go in with your bronzer one last time and kind of stamp over it. And again, this helps mix it together, which is what we want. Now, I always forget to contour my nose, so I'm going to take my Essence bronzer again with just a little angled brush. I always forget to contour my nose till like the last minute. So just take this and go down the sides of your nose. Now, the closer you have these lines, the slimmer your nose is going to look. The further apart you have them, the wider it's going to look. Typically, people don't want a wider nose, so kind of put them together a bit closely. Now, I like to kind of go up into my brow and my eye socket a little bit, but I definitely make the lines a bit harsh at first, and then I'll soften them up here in a second, but just so I can kind of get the shape that I want. So once you have it like that, I'm just going to take my little sponge and just stamp over it, blend out any of the harsh lines, and soften it up a little bit while still maintaining that newly contoured shape. See, it's just having a little bit more Okay, the last base makeup product we're going to be using is also from Essence Cosmetics. This is the Pure Nude Cosmo Lighter that retails for $4.99. This one is really beautiful. I don't even think I haven't used this yet. This one has kind of like a green shift to it. Super beautiful. Just going to take a Morphe brush and tap off any excess and just put this on the high points of my face, kind of like in a C shape. Then I'm going to do the tip of my nose a little bit. And right here. Don't take it all the way down your nose. You just take it like right there, right there. Take your sponge, stamp it. Helps to blend it and kind of tone it down a little bit. Okay, so now that our base is done, we're gonna give our face one last spray of our setting spray. Oh, it smells so good and it's wonderful. And again, you can kind of stamp it in just to set everything and help prolong your makeup. Okay, so now let's move on to eyes. So typically for eyes, when you're priming your eyelids, you should be using a base. I like to use the P. Louise base or the Gerard Cosmetics Clean Canvas, but those are a bit too pricey and we already have one product that's a little bit pricier than the rest. So I'm actually just gonna use my e.l.f. concealer. So you're just gonna take a little bit of this and prime your lids with it. So real quick off camera, I'm gonna do one eye and I'll be right back to show you how to create the look that I come up with. Okay guys, I'm back and this is the look that I came up with. I figured it's December, let's do something kind of Christmassy, kind of festive. So wanted to go with a blue kind of holiday moment. Now again, this video is for everyday makeup and this is my everyday makeup. I don't really do a lot of toned down stuff. So the technique and look that I'm going to show you today, you can replicate very, very easily with any type of colors, whether they're neutral, really colorful, whatever it may be. So just keep that in mind. So this is my everyday makeup look. So again, you can use whatever colors you'd like to do the exact same type of look and technique, just with different colors. So the palette we're going to be using today is the ColourPop x Kathleen Lights So Jaded palette. This retails currently for $34. Super, super beautiful. Love it. A lot of choices, a lot of different colors. There's mattes, shimmers, and pressed glitters. I'm not personally a fan of pressed glitters, but if you like them, they're there for you. Okay, so to get this look started, we are going to be priming our eye again, like I said earlier, with our e.l.f. concealer. Just put a little bit of this on the back of your hand, and we're also going to be using that to cut our crease. So I'm just going to stamp into it and prime my lid. Now it's so important that you prime your lid because when you do, it helps to prolong your eyeshadow throughout the day. It helps to have the shadows stick to it a lot easier, especially if you're using shimmers or pressed glitters. It makes your shadows more vibrant and it helps prevent creasing. So I'm someone that has hooded eyes and pretty much no matter what I do, they're gonna crease a little bit, but this will help prevent it as much as it can. So make sure you're priming with something, preferably an actual eyeshadow base, but if you want to stay on the cheaper side, then just use a concealer. So to get this look started, we're going to be taking a Morphe M506 brush. I'm going to be dipping into, what does that even say? Sapphire. We're going to be taking Sapphire, which is the deep dark blue right here. Now with this shadow, we're going to go right into our crease, which is about right here. And we are just going to take it all the way around. Now, in my opinion, the best way to apply your eyeshadows is to either pack and blend, which is like this, packing it on and then blending it out, or just blending it out in small circular motions just from the get-go. Now this shadow specifically is very, very pigmented, so I'm not going to pack it in. But I'm just going to kind of go back and forth, scratch the shadows just to start blending them, and go in circular motions. Okay, so we have the shape that we want, and we're gonna take that same brush and kind of brush it off or wipe it off on a paper towel to remove any excess pigment. We're gonna kind of lay it flat until our head up, and we're just gonna scratch the edge of the shadow to start blending it out. This is going to make it look better and be much easier when we apply our next shadow. Alrighty, next we're going to be taking our Morphe M433 brush, And I'm going to be dipping into something a lot lighter. This is called turquoise right here. Now we're using a fluffier blending brush because we don't want to hold as much product in. And we're just going to apply it half onto the dark blue and half off. This helps create the optimal blend. And we're just going to go around the edge and softly blend this lighter blue in. Okay, once you have that blended in, take a fluffy brush again, make sure there's nothing on it. It's just stained from the last eye. So just wipe it off, make sure nothing's on it. Now we're gonna take a very, very light shadow. This is called My Precious, which is a really kind of, I don't know, bone shade. And we're gonna take that and we're gonna very lightly go around the edges. This is going to help soften it even more, lighten it up, and blend it out further. Now once you do that, one more time, brush off that excess pigment, and we're just going to go in small circular motions around all of the blue, especially where they meet, the dark and the light meet, and just make sure it's blended together. Okay, looking pretty stunning. Now it's time to cut our crease. We're going to be taking, again, e.l.f. concealer. Gonna one last time put this on the back of my hand like so. You don't need a ton. And I'm going to take a flat Morphe brush, like, where'd it go? Like this. Take this one. This is the M421. And I'm going to stamp into the concealer that's on my hand, and we're just going to cut our crease. So you're going to start in the inner corner and just kind of gradually go up and around into your crease. I get all into this when I do my crease. Okay, we have our crease cut. It's looking pretty good. It doesn't have to be perfect because we're going to go in with some shadows and kind of touch it up. So we're going to take that first brush that we used and dip into Sapphire, which is the dark blue. We're going to dip into that, and on the outer corner, we're just going to stamp it on and kind of round it out. It's just what I like to do personally. And kind of flick it over to blend it. Now when I do this, I love this because one, it makes it just look more complete, and two, when we apply our shimmer, when we pat that shimmer on top of this dark blue, it's going to blend together and be like a lighter blue. You'll see. Okay, that looks stunning. Take a flat packing brush. This is the M224 brush. And now we're going to go into Aquamarine, which is this absolutely beautiful light blue right here. So I'm going to take that on this brush and watch how beautiful this is. Oh my gosh. Ooh, so beautiful. So beautiful. Now you're just going to apply this, of course, anywhere that you have the concealer. Just follow the lines. Now why I say that your cut crease doesn't have to be perfect when you're cutting it is because when we apply this, this is where I kind of go in and we'll touch up where my hands got a little shaky or where the brush kind of dragged a little bit, and you can kind of perfect it. So it already looks much better, and it took no time at all. Stunning, stunning. Oh my God, I love it so much. So now let's do some under eye. So we're gonna take a brush. This is my Makeup Shack T14 brush. We're gonna take this and we're gonna dip into turquoise, which was that second blue, the lighter one. And we're just gonna run this underneath our lower lash line. Make sure it's connected to the shadow out here and take it all the way across. So we're gonna take this little pencil brush now and we're gonna dip into Pearl, which is the beautiful little shimmer right here. And do you see how much base the concealer was left on my hand? You really don't need a lot, but I put a little bit too much. So we're gonna dip into Pearl and we're gonna pop this in our inner corner just to give it that little bright moment. And take it down over a little bit. I always have an inner corner highlight and a colorful waterline. I just feel like it brings it all together. Now we're gonna take our ColourPop Cream Gel Liner. This is, I don't know what shade this is. Was it say Zulu? Oh, I never even realized these had shades on them, but it's called Zulu. So I'm just gonna take this and pull my mirror closer and get all up in your space and just line your waterline with it. It is so rare that I use a black for my waterline. I just prefer color, and it's kind of like my thing. Next, we're going to take our Great Lash Mascara from Maybelline. I currently bought this for $4.99. I think it might be a little bit more sometimes, but I got it for $4.99. And just give your lashes a nice little coat. Alright, I'm going to quickly throw on my J Sky Beauty lashes in the style Iris. I'm also using my Bella & Co. lash glue. Just give this a nice little blow, blow, blow. It's like it's tacky. Give it like 20 to 30 seconds. So for this, you're going to get it and you're going to take it as close to your lash line as you can, right in the middle. Press it in. Give it a little wiggle, 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 wiggle. And now I like to switch from those tweezers to my regular tweezers and place the corners exactly where I want them. I go back to the pink tweezers and I just kind of smush them together so they blend a bit better. Be careful. Stab yourself in the eye. Oh, how stunning. Lashes just change the whole thing. Lashes change the whole thing. You don't need lashes, especially if you want to save time and you want to save even more money. You don't need lashes, but I just feel like lashes complete a look and kind of take it to the next level. Okay, last but not least, we're going to be throwing on a liquid lipstick. I'm going to be using my Bella & Co. Cosmetics liquid lipstick in the shade Nova. These retail for only $13. They are very pigmented, very creamy. They dry down very nicely, very comfortable on the lips, and you can use my discount code, which is Cody15, to save 15% off your order if you would like. So I'm just going to take this, and I like to take off any of the little excess product and wipe it on the tube, and just throw on a lip. A lip. That's beautiful. Okay, the lip is on. It looks so beautiful. Oh, everything, I'm just loving it. Let me just grab my setting spray one last time and just give it one last spray for good luck. Okay, this is the final look all complete. I think it's absolutely stunning. I hope you love it. All of the products I use today are very high quality and very, very long lasting. So definitely all that together makes for a really easy and affordable everyday makeup routine. So I hope you learned a thing or two from today's video, especially if you're someone just getting into makeup. All of these products I would recommend to you. I love them, they're great, and again, they're very affordable. But that is all I have for you guys today. I really appreciate you watching today's video. If you'd like to keep up with all things Cody J, you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, and TikTok, all at Cody J Artistry. And of course, if you enjoyed today's video, please make sure you give it a big thumbs up down below. Click that big red subscribe button so you can join my YouTube family. Turn on my YouTube video post notifications by clicking that bell icon and switching it to all. And I thank you guys so much for watching today's video, and I will see you in the next one.